If there's one thing which has become quite commonplace, when a team changes a manager, you get the new manager bounce. Doesn't seem to really be the case so far for Manchester United, and I completely understand it's a very different system. He is very much tethered, Ruben Amorim that is, to playing free at the back. If we can compare the results of both of the managers United have had this season, permanent managers, not including Ruud van Nistelrooy, of course, we can see here some of the numbers, and just to break it down even further, in the league, Ruben Amorim has had 7 matches in charge, 2 wins against Everton and a huge one against Manchester City in the derby. 1 draw, his first game in charge was against Ipswich, but 4 losses, Sharpie. Arsenal, Forest, Bournemouth and Wolves. Consecutive losses right there. Have they improved? Simple question.
Probably not, I would say, and I think that does come down a lot to the formation. I think the players are learning a new formation. I think it's difficult when you've played sort of 2 centre-halves at the back your whole career, and then all of a sudden you're playing 3. The centre-halves are probably getting dragged out a little bit wider than they'd like. Full-backs are trying to play a little bit higher up and maybe getting caught too high at times and lacking defensively. And there's still, for me, a lack of balls going into Højlund. I think he's making good runs. I think he's working his socks off, but he's just not getting the service, and they're not scoring enough goals.
Is it a question of having too many players who are brought in by Ten Hag for his philosophy, and now Ruben Amorim, who's about to have his first transfer window in January? We're not expecting much business there either. He's bound to these players. He's got no choice, but perhaps they're not suitable for how he wants to play.
Well, they're not suitable to how he wants to play. And this is where he's got to get the balance because even if he can do anything in the January transfer window, he's not going to be able to make wholesale changes. So what he's got to do is he's got to work with the players that he's got. He's got to get a few results because, listen, they're perilously close to the bottom as well of the division, and then try and implement as he goes along, you know, the system and the style of play he wants. Ultimately, when we look at that Man United squad, there's very few players in there who you would class as Manchester United players.
I'm not buying into this business about because he plays a different system, it's difficult for the players. That doesn't give players the excuse to not do the basics. And I just think, having watched Manchester United most of the season, they haven't individually and collectively done the basics particularly well. You know, players giving the ball away too easily, defenders not taking up good positions, strikers not getting shots away. You know, Højlund, I believe he's played in 5 games this season where he's started, and he hasn't recorded a shot on goal. Something's fundamentally wrong if your number 9 in 5 games hasn't had a strike on goal.